All right, so this week we have a special guest. I'm here with Marsha Chose. She is looking to open up a store in Punatown. Say hi.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. Okay, so tell it. Walk us through this whole process of uh, how you came to start this wanting to open a store all the way to where you're at right now presently.
It was kind of an interesting thing. I mean, I initially, and you know this very well,
Mm-hmm.
started the tabletop gaming club in Pahoa.
Right.
And we know the logistics of getting the students from Pahoa to Hilo. It's only a 30-minute drive, but realistically, in order to get students just that far is very cost prohibitive. So my original thought was to try and do something so that we could get the students a location in Pahoa to actually, do sanction things and whatever. And my hope was to be able to do some sort of extension of a local game store and,
Right.
just create a facility in the local community for the students to be able to play.
Right. Definitely. That was because, I mean, mainly because the store at the time was a good 20, 30 miles away, and the average teenager is not going to be able to get out there to do any sort of activities, even if they wanted
Right.
to. Right. Continue. Sorry. Go on.
Okay. So as it turned out, and I was keeping an eye out since, this thought was kind of in the back of my mind. And, I had actually talked briefly with, a couple people from game nights about, the potential of doing this. And I think I even mentioned it to you. And,
Right.
but no place came up during the last year that had a price for the rent per month that was, reasonable. And then just this past month in July, kind of towards the middle part of the month, there was a place that just happened to pop up. And so I started it just kind of doing general inquiry on it, with the intent of finding out the details on the initial costs and stuff before I did anything, because I want to do my due diligence, my research, and that kind of thing first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
so then this was done. This was sort of being done independently. Sort of. What am I trying to say? It was done in a way that it sort of became not lucky, or it was sort of coincidental. That's the word. That
Yeah,
the
exactly.
store had closed because you were going to do this anyways.
Well, I was going to, once I did the research, then I was going to talk to game nights. And then, ironically, literally the next week, game nights announced that they were closing. And then I was like, well, then, now what am I going to do?
Right.
And then I had conversations with so many people. And you know this because you were one of the people I talked to, probably at least a dozen different people in, different groups and, within the community, because I wanted to see if it would be worthwhile to, pursue this without being, a satellite of an existing store. And if the, Puna community could potentially um, support a game store, because it is a small community, it's outside one of the main cities, but, the population is actually very large. So, the potential is there. So, I talked to people, but this happened really fast, and you know this.
Yeah. So, for the purposes of the listener, this was an idea. Okay, so let's see. Today is what? We're recording on August the 3rd. It's a Thursday. I mean, the previous local gaming store had announced they were closing approximately, I want to say 16 or so days ago. It was around July 17th, that Monday. And that was when, and then I think, when did you sign the lease? It was around like the
it was
28th, right?
it was just this Monday, actually.
Oh, it was just this
Today.
past Monday. Okay, so around the 31st
Yeah.
or so. So, like, for the purposes of to understand what time uh time block chunk we're working with, this is really fast. And so, I mean, I was giving
Ridiculously fast.
it was unbelievably fast, and I was giving I had, and I still, to a degree, I always have major misgivings about things that move too quickly. Um, but I mean, So give more information about your plans for everything. Go ahead for the benefit of our listeners.
Well, more about me than the general listener, I would suppose. And I talk to you, and you come out and support the club that I advise at POA. And I do that to support the students, and you are a huge member of the community that supports this. And I've had now two different conversations with Sean, who supports the magic community on Oahu. And that's what I want to do. I want to give the youth in our community really somewhere they can go, they can game, they can do activities that gives them an alternative place to go, is what I was looking for. And this it I mean, honestly, this has been crazy fast. I don't know, when my head stops spinning and I come up for air, I'll let you know.
Right.
But it was just one of those things. Everything's just started to fall into place while all of this is going on. And then, like, literally the next week, what's happening? I'm working on all of this, and Your Turn announces they're closing at the end of August.
Yeah. So that was
it's
right. Let me really quickly pause again for the benefit of the listeners, because the last episode. So the time in between episode 2 and now, we have another local gaming store that's looking to close. They are going to open back from their summer break next Tuesday, and then, like, for the next month they're going to stay open and then close at the end of August. So that's sort of rocking the East Hawaii gaming community even more so, because it's now two major local gaming stores rather than one. I know that myself, I'm going to be going with a couple of people down to Your Turn, maybe see about picking up some stock. Who knows what they have for sale or something, just on that Tuesday. Who knows, But yeah.
right. And between all of this, I'm continually having conversations with the community, with different stakeholders in different parts. I've talked to previous owners of game shops that are no longer open in town. The local shop that just closed, I talked to the owner of Your Turn, and I plan to, and I've already warned them, I'm probably going to call Four Pillars, because they're the other game store on this island. They're far, they're on the other side, but information that they're willing to share, is invaluable. So I
Absolutely,
think it's important.
absolutely, and I even recommended talking to Four Pillars, because it at least from my own personal experience among the gaming stores that have been on this island, Four Pillars on the Kona side has really gotten some sort of winning combination. Shout out to the guys at Four Pillars, but yeah, like they're doing everything right, and so I definitely recommended to Marsha here to definitely get in touch with those guys and see what they, get whatever it is that they're doing, if even a little bit can sprinkle down and we can translate it to something here on the east side of the island, because they're on the west side. That would definitely benefit the community as a whole.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. And the reasoning and the premise behind the shop is not to make money. My thought process on opening the store was to make enough to keep it open and continue to buy product and reinvest into the place.
Okay.
Because I really wanted to open a place for the youth in the community and the community as a whole. And so that is what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? It's not get rich quick, or so I'm actually getting quite a bit of support from the community, because they like the idea. And that was one of the things, and it was helpful in me actually even getting the space for the location of the shop. The owner of the units liked the idea, and
Oh,
she
okay. Yeah.
sorely needs somewhere for students, young people to go to gather.
Oh, definitely. And I know,
That's positive.
right, absolutely. And I know, at least I know that there are bits and pieces out there in the Puna area, the south-ish eastern portion of this island, for the listeners that aren't, Rio Rhineland or whatever, that they're out, they're playing at their friends' houses. They're maybe either too intimidated to head out to one of the major local stores out here, or it's too far away, or it's too expensive. Like there are many different reasons why um, the people out here don't get out to the stores, and because of that they're getting their cards from big box stores because they don't know better. That, it's like, okay, I'll go to Target and buy a fat pack or something, or I'll buy my cards, or maybe the tech savvy ones, they'll buy their cards online when because it's too far to go to a local gaming store and support local businesses.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing. That's why I'm trying to really get out to the community and get that buy-in because that's huge. I think that in order to be successful, you have to be in sync with what the community wants. You can have your own ideas and thoughts and whatever, but if you do not have the support of the community, the local community, the gaming community, all of those parts, you're not going to be successful. So that, like I said, I've spent hours talking to people. I mean, that's what I've been doing, networking, reaching out, things like that.
Absolutely. um what other is that's pretty much what's your experience with all the gaming and stuff? What, for the listeners, what have you done yourself in terms of like gaming and things like that?
You want to know my history? So this is kind of funny. Back in the day, so this is like in dinosaurs were roaming. I was introduced to Dungeons and Dragons in my college days, and this is back in the day. I mean, we're talking a long time ago, right? And so that's my first start into tabletop, and then I'm a console game player and I play MMOs, so I do a lot of video game type of things, and but I enjoy the tabletop stuff. I played D&D when I was working at a business in Minnesota. I lived there for a few years,
Mm.
and a whole bunch of the people that worked at that place, we all D&D together, and we had to D&D once a month. We're all working adults at that point. People have kids, and then I ended up moving back to Hawaii to be closer to my family and whatever. And I
Mm-hmm.
actually used to get on Skype with them in D&D at 5 in the morning. It was awful.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm part of a group myself, a tabletop group where we game over TeamSpeak, and we have all of our character sheets and stuff over Google Docs. We've used Roll20 for the map and for dice rolls and things. And so I mean, doing long distance gaming it's a challenge because I mean, like all my the other members of this group, my friends, they're all on the mainland, just like what you said. I mean, thankfully, I don't have to wake up at 5 in the morning to do game, thankfully, but I mean, it's still a challenge, definitely, absolutely.
Yeah. And what made it, the reason why the time difference was so horrible was we also played with someone that moved to the UK. So we're also talking the time difference from the UK to Hawaii, which is a
Oh,
pretty long
jeez,
span.
isn't that
Yeah.
like a day? Isn't that straight up like a
Don't
day?
even know. It's like
It's
11 hours or something crazy.
yeah,
I'm not
it's
exactly
like
sure.
10 hours. It's crazy. Yeah.
That's pretty far. So I mean, but that's kind of like my old school history,
Hmm.
and when I came back here, I decided to, okay, my experience in work, it was not really that great for me. So I went back and I went to school. While I was in school, I was gonna get a degree in international business, and then I was sitting in math class, and it was kind of one of those things. I'm looking around at all these kids from our local community struggling in my math class, and I'm like, I completely changed my major, degree in math, and went for my teaching certification, and I became a math teacher because I wanted to give back to the community. You know,
Mm-hmm.
from
Okay.
here, my father was a teacher at the college for a million years, and and between him and I worked at the counselor's office. That they expressed to me how difficult it is for some of the students to, they have to take like a year or more sometimes of math to be able to complete a 2-year degree. So that adds another year or more onto their, you know,
Oh
plan to
yeah.
graduate.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
that, that's a
I
big deal.
remember. Yeah, definitely during my high school days. One kid screws up his math class, and he's stuck there for another year because he has to take math.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, so I became a math teacher, kind of long story short. And then I started teaching at the hall because that was where I was placed. And my first year, I'm just trying to survive. First teach, brand new teacher. My second year, I was like, okay, now I'm ready to actually do stuff. And I got to know the kids, and I decided I wanted to give the kids a place to go during non-instructional time during the school day that is away from drama, that is away from all the things that are not necessarily the most positive things at a school. So I decided to open my classroom and start a tabletop gaming club. I figured that's very general. They can come in and do strategy type games. It's a learning thing while being fun at the same time. It was my thinking and the reason why I this was my idea for what I wanted to do the club for.
And look where
You
you
know,
are, and look where you are
right?
now. Oh my god.
And through that, so I shout out to Enrique Ramos, who was a teacher at Pahoa, who actually introduced the students to Magic. Now, just to give you all you Magic players an idea, I had not played Magic up until that point. I'd heard about it. I'm a little older, so I kind of missed the boat on the whole Magic trend. So and it's a very popular game, and so he taught the students basics of the game. And when I created the club, I kind of inherited a bunch of the students that he taught how to play. Along with that, he goes, I am donating, and he donated a whole bunch of cards for the kids. And he said, you need to make this happen. And he actually got me in touch with Stefan, who was one of the owners at Game Nights in Hilo. And I got in touch with Stefan because I didn't have much experience, and I wanted to give the kids an opportunity to talk and see some other games that that I didn't have, or that might be new and might be fun and educational for them. And then, of course,
Right,
what
right.
happened to you, Vizzy? That's how I met you.
Right. That's how, because he got me in touch with you guys, because he was, I mean, personal things aside, he was moving on with his life. And so he wanted to pass on whatever projects he was working on to me, and it just so happened that this was one of them, and that's how I came to know Marsha here. And so ever since then, I've
Awesome.
been right. I've been assisting the school club for the most part. Just there every event and things like that, and it's been great. It's one of those things. It reminds me of my old pre-judge days, back when I was just a dinky college student, helping people out to try to get together like a um uh my brain's not working, a gaming club at the local university at UH Hilo. And so,
Right.
yeah, that was the first iteration of the current Guild of Games, whatever is now going on there. Now I don't know what it is now that I've graduated, but yeah. And so it's sort of like reliving all that. Long story short, definitely.
Right. And the thing is, like, I want to do this. I know it's your podcast, but I want to give a shout out to you specifically because you come out every single time our club hosted something. You were there. You donate your time, your energy, your effort to the kids. And the best part is we all have fun. That's the most amazing part. The kids have fun, and they are so infectious with it. They just spread it like wildfire.
Oh
It's
yeah, they are really into it, and that's a really it's a very encouraging thing, because you never know with teenagers. It's like, oh, this stuff's boring, or this guy's stupid. I'm not gonna listen to him. You know what I mean? But it was, we got you were given a good group of kids. They're interested. They want to learn. They want to get better. I guess it helps that you shower free. We all shower. We as a collective community have showered free stuff upon them, and
right.
that usually tends to help, right, with kids. Um,
Right.
so yeah, no, and it's been
And
great.
food.
It's been
Food is a
great.
good one.
Food too, yes, food as well, but mostly, I mean, like cards. Getting
And the
more
thing, the
towards
most
gaming.
valuable thing you guys give is your time.
Mm, mm.
I mean, how many people in the community have come out? I mean, Kaika, Kelsey, Waddles. I mean, the guys from Game Nights, Alex and John. And of course, you have not missed one thing, and that
Right,
your guys' time and you guys giving that to the kids, that is what's going to make them future Magic players, right?
right, right, because they're gonna have that exposure to, I guess, the previous generation, for sure.
Right. You guys have fun. I mean, the thing is, whenever we do these things, they're never serious. We always have a blast the whole time. That's
Oh
the
yeah.
biggest thing. We're adults and we're getting to teach kids stuff and have fun while we're doing it. I mean, what better job than that, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Definitely.
And you guys get to play Magic while you're doing it. And then that's how, of course, I conned my co-advisor, Arjuna, to become part of this thing. He's a Magic player, and he actually, I believe, is the one that introduced Enrique to Magic.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, so that's kind of how the history with the whole thing goes. And then so while I was getting this club together, I was like, I'm gonna ask Arjuna if he's willing. And he stepped right up and he goes, "Yeah, for you, I'll do this for the club, for Magic, I'm in." So that's awesome. And he has been, I cannot ask for a better co-advisor for the club. I mean, I've just been lucky. The whole gaming community, the Magic community is so amazingly awesome. I mean, I cannot speak more highly about everybody that I've met. You guys are just amazing.
Yeah, and I'm definitely looking forward to this new school year. I know schools, we're basically in back to school mode. Do you have any particular plans, goals, aspirations that you want? Just the club, I guess first the club, then the store, but first the club. What do you have any goals for the club this school year?
I want to get to the Hawaii Con. We weren't able to raise the funds for a bus. I mean, you would not believe how prohibitively expensive it is to get a bus to go the other side of the island. I mean, it's over $1,000. And so we fundraised, but we're short the money. And ideally, if my store does enough, I would just kick that money in for the kids. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, the store's going to be too new. Hawaii Con is in what, a little over a month here. There's no way
Yeah,
I
it's
could
like
pull that
literally.
off in that short of a time.
It's like what, 6 or so weeks? Yeah, 6 weeks, like the 15th or something like
Yeah.
that of September. Yeah, it's in that. It's very. It's. I mean, somebody's gonna have to swoop in with like, I don't know how much are your buses, like what was it, like $400 or something? I don't even remember.
It's
It
probably going to be at least $1,000. It's crazy. Just to
right.
take my students to Hilo was over $300. So, that kind of gives you an idea how expensive it is. And that's way closer.
I mean, I wonder if there was a way to do it as like a private citizen, like away from DOE. Just be like, hey, who wants to come out and like go to Hawaii Con? We
I
all
might be able
pack
to
into
do it from
something.
the premise of the shop, but I need to be very careful. And I need to make sure, if I did it, the paperwork is right because,
Right, especially because
it's
it's
going to have
minors and
separation.
yeah, it's all a big, yeah. But I mean
I
that,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. And the conversations that I'm having now, I'm an idealist kind of. So I've been talking to different people, which I mean, I'm not ready to share some of the things that are going on with the shop yet because they're not in stone. There are things that are happening even as we speak. There's still
Absolutely,
conversations
yeah.
going
I
on,
mean, we had
but
conversations last night.
exactly. I mean,
Over.
a lot has changed in the last 24 hours, right? And
Oh,
there's
good.
still potential to go on, correct?
Absolutely.
So I mean, these are all good things. But like when I was talking to different people, one of the things was, how can we use this to do additional supports for the community? And in a perfect world, my idea for the club is not to make money. I want to reinvest and within the store and of course into the community. And so one of the ideas we were coming up with is like over the summer, maybe host a few Magic tournaments here and there to, instead of charging the community, as long as we're in the, can pay our rent and our bills, um, do something along the lines of like, come play a Magic tournament, and instead of paying the entry fee for the draft, donate a backpack, supplies for school, and
Oh, okay. So
turn that around and donate it to the students in the community
so
that
kind
need
of
it the
kind of do
most.
like a why is my brain not working? Kind of do like a canned food drive or
But for school supplies or that kind
right,
of idea,
right,
right?
right. Backpack. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
But these are the things that I want to do. Of course, we need to survive to that point. So,
Yeah.
by the way,
You
yeah,
got to
shout
get
out anybody want to support. Yeah, go.
Actually, you know what? That's a great segue. Let's talk the GoFundMe. So run us through the GoFundMe.
Okay, I have enough funds to do the basic startup on the shop. The GoFundMe is to give some breathing room so the shop can survive and make it, for a little longer, and I don't have to worry because the money's kind of tight. I'm a school teacher. School teachers are not known for being extremely wealthy, and the vast majority of my money goes right to my students, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So this kind of goes along that lines. I'm doing the store thing, and money is pretty much going to go back to the community, whatever we make, and we wanted to do with this stuff. So that's kind of the idea. I mean, if when and if we can get to that point, I want to be able to do things like this.
That's
And like
okay.
I've talked to you about the Saturday deal. Saturdays are going to be for the youth in the community. We're going to run Popper decks. We're going to do Pokemon stuff. I have talked to a few people. We might do Yu-Gi-Oh. I might, and I want to do some intro D&D stuff, like pre-gen dungeons, pre-created characters, so the kid that's never played before can sit down and learn. Here you go. This is a character, and then do something like learn how to create a character. We can do something like that. So I want the store to be a place that we can do that kind of stuff with the kids.
Right, just give them that taste, and hopefully, they'll have something that they can use for the rest of their lives.
Once
Because
a gamer, always a gamer, right?
pretty much, pretty much. I'm gonna leave a link to the GoFundMe in the show notes. Thank you very much. Are there any other things you want to promote, shout out, pimp out before we cut this loose?
Yeah, I want to shout out to the whole community, to be quite honest. Everybody's been so supportive. They are so open and willing to talk to me. I ask questions, they share. I mean, it has been amazing. What I've learned from this journey so far, which is still, in the baby steps, is that the community, if you give them something that they can get behind, they do. And whoops, my dog just barked. Sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. But yeah, so like I said, I'll put a link to the GoFundMe. How much are you looking? What's your final goal on that again?
It's $2,200, and that's basically so we have money to get a little infrastructure in the store, extra chairs, some things along those lines, and to have money for extra products, so the store can be a little fuller, so I can actually have product to sell and run drafts and things like that. Give it a little more wiggle room.
All right. Again, thank you very much for stopping by, and we'll take another quick break, and we'll be right back.